You ever wonder why some people just seem to build wealth almost effortlessly? Meanwhile, so many others feel like they're just stuck on a hamster wheel, trading their precious time for money. Well, I'm here to tell you the answer isn't luck, and it's definitely not some secret only a few people know. It's really all about having the right knowledge.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Why do some people seem to thrive financially while so many others struggle? It's the fundamental question we're going to tackle today. And you know what? The answer might actually surprise you.
The answer is, well, it's shockingly simple. They're not playing the same game as everyone else. They are operating from a completely different playbook, one with a totally different set of rules when it comes to money. And here's the best part, that playbook, it isn't locked away in some vault, it is available to literally anyone who wants to learn it.
And that's exactly what we're doing in this explainer. We've gone ahead and synthesized that entire playbook for you. We've pulled the most powerful, the most actionable ideas from 7 of the most essential books ever written on wealth. Think of this as your roadmap, built from the wisdom of the absolute best financial minds out there. So, let's get into it.
Okay, so everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. Pillar number 1, master your mindset. Look, before you can even think about changing your bank account, you've got to change the way you think about money. This is the psychological foundation that everything else, literally everything, is built on.
And the book that has really sparked this shift for millions of people is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, this book isn't about which stocks to pick or anything like that. No, it's about completely dismantling that financial programming most of us got growing up. The stuff we were always told about money.
See, Kiyosaki's core idea is it's brilliantly simple. First up, let's talk about an asset. What is it? An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, month after month, year after year, whether you're actively working for it or not.
And then you've got the opposite, a liability. Super straightforward. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Simple, right? But I'm telling you, understanding this one little distinction, it changes everything.
So right here, this is the 2 playbooks in action. It's so clear. On the left, you see what the rich focus on, acquiring assets, things like rental properties, businesses, stocks, stuff that puts money in their pockets. And on the right, that's the common trap, acquiring liabilities, like car loans, a big primary mortgage, credit card debt, things that constantly take money out. The big takeaway here is this. Your journey to financial freedom literally begins the moment you decide to start building that column on the left.
And that brings us perfectly to a more modern classic, The Psychology of Money. The author, Morgan Housel, he makes this incredible point. He says success with money has way less to do with how smart you are and way more to do with how you behave. Knowing what to do isn't the hard part. The real challenge is controlling our own behavior. Our fear, our greed, that constant urge to compare ourselves to others. When it comes to money, your habits matter so much more than your IQ.
And to round out this first pillar on mindset, we have to talk about Napoleon Hill's timeless classic, Think and Grow Rich. I mean, the core message here is so powerful. Building wealth is not an accident. It's the direct result of a burning desire for something backed up by a crystal clear plan and just relentless persistence. It really all starts with the thoughts you choose to hold in your mind.
All right, so once you've got that mindset locked in, it's time to move on to Pillar 2, build your strategy. This is your long-term game plan. This is the proven system for how you're actually, practically, going to build wealth over time.
Okay, quick little thought exercise for you. When I say the word millionaire, what's the first image that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. Is it some person in a designer suit hopping into a flashy sports car, or maybe someone living in a giant mansion? What do you see?
Well, if you pictured something like that, you are definitely not alone. That's what most of us think of. But according to decades of rock-solid research from the book The Millionaire Next Door, that whole image, it's basically a myth. And it's one that's been largely created and pushed by the media.
The reality of what it takes to get wealthy is, well, it's surprisingly boring. The data shows that most real millionaires are masters of playing financial defense. They are aggressively frugal. They live in ordinary neighborhoods, they drive practical, often used cars, and above all, they prioritize saving over spending every single time. They get it. True wealth isn't about what you spend, it's all about what you manage to keep.
Okay, so you're saving money. Awesome. Now what? For a lot of people, that next step, investing, feels super overwhelming. It's this big, complicated thing. But J.L. Collins, in his fantastic book, The Simple Path to Wealth, shows us that it really doesn't have to be.
And his core strategy is illustrated perfectly right here. Seriously, forget about trying to pick the next hot stock. Forget about trying to time the market. The simple, proven path is just to consistently buy low-cost, broad market index funds. When you do this, you're not betting on one company, you're buying a tiny slice of the entire market. It gives you incredible diversification, you keep your fees super low, and you just let the magic of compounding do all the heavy lifting for you over the decades.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most practical pillar, automate your actions. So, we've got the right mindset, we've got a solid strategy, but willpower? It runs out. So now we need a system that just runs on autopilot.
And from the book Your Money or Your Life comes one of the most profound ideas in all of personal finance. It's this concept called life energy. See, money isn't just paper or numbers on a screen. It represents the actual hours of your precious life that you had to trade to earn it. It's your time, your energy. It's literally your life.
And when you start seeing your spending through that lens, I promise you, everything changes. That new phone, that fancy dinner out, it's not just a price tag anymore. The real question you have to ask is, how many hours of my life did this thing really cost me? Is it actually worth that trade?
So how do you actually put this into practice? Well, Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, gives us the perfect blueprint. His whole philosophy is to stop sweating the small stuff, like arguing over a $5 coffee. Instead, focus on the big wins. You set up a system where your paycheck automatically pays your bills and funds your investments first. And then, the money that's left over, that is yours to spend completely guilt-free on the things you absolutely love.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. These 7 incredible books, these 3 essential pillars, this isn't just a random collection of tips. When you put them together, they form a single, powerful, coherent roadmap to financial freedom.
This is the path. It's right here. First, master your mindset. Really understand assets versus liabilities, get a handle on your own behavior, and find that burning desire. Second, build your strategy. That means living below your means and investing simply and consistently for the long haul. And third, automate your actions. Build a system that runs on its own so you can stop worrying about money and actually focus on living your life.
Look, if there's one single thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Financial freedom is not some secret reserved for a lucky few. It's not about being born rich. It is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. It's learned through knowledge, and it's applied with discipline. And absolutely anyone can learn it. The journey to real financial freedom always starts with a single step, or in this case, maybe a single page. So the only question left for you is, which one of these books will you read first? The playbook is right there, in your hands. It's time to start writing your new chapter.